Hey guys, Sean here again. Today we're going to talk about entry fragging and in particular pathways that entry fraggers take on various executes. I'm going to give 3 examples actually in this video. And I'm basically going to demonstrate how the pathways that you should take as an entry fragger are totally dependent on your team's spacing as well as the utility that they use to support you as an entry fragger. So keep that in mind as we watch those videos. And in your own teams, I hope you can implement similar things. Another thing to note in these videos is crosshair placement and what people are looking at in these particular strats. You won't see them just flinging their crosshair all over the place willy-nilly, checking 25 angles because they're the first into the bomb site and they're trying to find this guy. No, they have one goal in mind, one goal. And the guys behind them basically are supporting them and clearing all those other angles, as well as the utility is probably being used to prevent them from dying in, 90% of the other spots. So first we're going to look at Hobbit here. This is the major finals, Krakow. This is the second map. So this is a quick explosive strat to outside that Gambit runs on the first gun round. And yes, this is the first actual gun round where Immortals has 5 rifles. There's a lot of weird force buys. So the first thing I want to note though is as the first person into ladder room, notice how Hobbit drops and he cuts right immediately. Now he has Doja coming immediately behind him. It is a massive threat to drop into ladder room early rounds because the CTs have very similar timing, and I mean it could just be like an instantaneous fight, like bam, that you could lose 50% of the time. It's a very easy fight to lose. So he drops into ladder room on the right side, allowing Doja to be safe and come down on the left side behind him on the ladder. So if a guy does push ladder and fight Hobbit, he's going to get traded. At absolute worst case scenario, the guy that pushes ladder will get traded by Doja right behind Hobbit. And this would be the same scenario if Doja was first and Hobbit was second. It's only this way because Hobbit is first. And they're aware of that role on the team. This is something that tons of players have problems with in North America, and something that actually really excited me when I played with Freakazoid in particular. I thought he was really good about creating space and allowing the people behind him to succeed. You can tell that Gambit has discussed this amongst their team based on how this alone is set up. But yeah, let's watch how the actual strat evolves now. So Hobbit's waiting in ladder, waiting. A flash pops. You see the flash? So the flash pops outside, and with that flash, he now knows, okay, I can kind of pivot right now, clear off close E-box area. He waits for a second flash. Now you can see, look at his crosshair placement when he runs out right now. It is extremely dangerous on a normal execute if you're the only guy ladder, or if you're doing bomb train smokes or something like that. You wouldn't want to do what Hobbit's doing, right? It's only for this particular strat that he's going to take this pathway. So he's going to run out with this flash that's right above him, and he's looking bomb train for the guy that plays the ladder from the bomb train. It is extremely risky to run out ladder and not look E-box. But what he's doing is he's tunnel visioning one spot that could potentially kill them both with the utility that's used, and the guy behind him is going to hard clear E-box. So Doja, who's behind him, is going to hard clear E-box. And Zeus, who's actually up above ladder, is throwing a late smoke to back 6. Now, another thing that's important about entry fragging is, depending on the strat, you might want to beat your own team's smokes. And a lot of casters have called out entry fraggers for being stupid, not waiting for the utility to be thrown. But the reason being is because you could just get stuck behind molly, smoke. I mean, you can get counter flash once you're out. If you wait for that smoke from top 6 to be thrown, or from top ladder to be thrown to back 6, that's like a 5-second wait that the CTs could literally just, counter molly ladder, and your hit becomes blatantly obvious. So Gambit, knowing that, if a team like Immortals played counter smoke, counter molly, they would get caught with nades in their hand right now. And that's how this strat is designed. It's designed to punish those teams. So anyway, let's see how this plays out. So again, he's just completely tunnel visioning, like I said. Once he realizes that guy is E-box, he has to look at it at that point. But Doja kills him anyway, or actually a drain comes out mid and kills him, combined with Doja, who's right behind him. Literally, you can't even see him on radar because he's so close. He kills the guy top 6, and he's just going to cut immediately across the Z connector. It's a very smart play by him to just molly behind the smoke. He knows the rotation is stuck behind the smoke, and in order for it to get back outside as quick as possible, he could just underhand a flash and come storming through this, potentially double killing him and Doja. So what he's going to do is he's just going to molly behind the smoke immediately and get the hell out of there, go towards heaven and just win the round at that point. We'll look at the round one more time in an overview. And like I said, two trains of thoughts as far as executes go. One, you throw your smokes, you throw your mollies, and you kind of wait for all that to settle, and then you throw flashes and you go. Two, you beat the counter mollies and smokes and nades and things like that by being explosive. And you'll see this a lot out of Brazilian teams. You'll see this a lot out of Gambit. A lot of the very tactical teams actually do this. They're very explosive with their strats. It's in particular why dry takes on the inner bomb side on train are very successful, because the inner players are conditioned to play using a Molotov to molly back pop. So let's take an overlook right now as like how they run out and kind of the timings of these nades that you're seeing. So early sandwich smoke. Now, I don't know this for a fact, but typically when an early sandwich smoke is thrown, coupled with potentially an E-box smoke, but for this strat they only threw a sandwich smoke. What that does is it makes someone want to see if a guy's behind it, and one of the best ways to see if a guy's behind that sandwich smoke is to go top green train. Now this strat might be designed to bait Immortals into going on top of the green train, which is where Hobbit gets that entry kill. I don't know that for a fact, but it very well could be the case. Just something to note. So you can see the timings of everything. Zeus breaking the windows. They're lining up in ladder. The first flash goes over. Smoke towards the Z. He's running with his back turned. And he's running immediately when that flash blows up. Not even looking towards the E-box. Those just directly behind him. It's super important that you have someone with very good spacing behind you. There are examples where this isn't necessary, and I'm actually going to show those in the coming clips. But for this particular strat, that spacing is insanely important. So yeah, I'm actually going to show you guys how SK works in these similar scenarios. SK is probably one of the best teams in the world when it comes to setting up their entry fraggers for success. So let's take a look at how they deal with a couple situations. One, on train, we're going to look at Fur, and that's what we're going to go to first, actually. So let's hop over. Okay, guys, so now we're going to see Fur go out T main as an entry fragger. And again, the thing to note is timing with utility. It's so important, and also creating spacing and allowing your teammates to succeed. So in this given scenario, it's actually a 4-on-5. Config made an aggressive play at Ivy early round, picked off Phelps, and now SK is falling into a 2-2 split, where Fallen is outside T main with a smoke flash. He's going to use both of those. And the main thing to note is first timing with that flashbang is perfect. So he's pretty aware, as you can tell by his crosshair placement, of all the things that could potentially kill him. He's been holding a very similar angle to this almost the entire round. So he has a pretty good vibe that no one is inside of T main. But he's still going to kind of like jump clear it. That is the risk in the strat. Obviously, they're down 4 versus 5. He has to take a risk. He can't clear everything. Again, that's something that you have to be aware of as an entry fragger. You can't clear everything. You have to have confidence in the things that you clear, and you have to accept the fact that you're going to die if people are in certain angles. It's just going to happen sometimes. Now, he like lazy clears it, but we'll see. So, Fallen throws his smoke there, and that's going, I believe, towards the Z, and Fallen's about to throw his flash. So with the smoke, Fur's going to jump across, basically spot for info. So if anyone is in these angles, it's a very difficult shot for them to hit on Fur, because he's jumping across for info before the flash comes. Fallen throws the flash right now. See the flash coming? Fur sees a molly right here. Now he has two choices. Stay behind the molly and basically just screw your entire team. The utility is thrown. I don't want to run through a molly. I don't want to through a molly. I'm a star player. No. So Fallen throws that flash. With the flash, Fur runs out. Perfect timing. And MSL is so screwed in that spot. With that timing that Fur just hit, MSL either tanks that flash and probably dies blind, or he turns like he did, tries to whip around and take that fight with Fur, also probably dies. AZ, playing the ladder smoke, has to trust MSL to basically hold that situation. And you can see that's pretty much impossible. Like, MSL can't expect to hold that situation. Maybe if he used an off angle where he's using the E-box a little bit better, but there's no way he was winning that fight. And then easy kill onto AZ. And you can see, at this point, he has to get out the molly. So to get out the molly, he has to go top 6. If he would have ran to sandwich, he probably would have died. And you can see he goes top blue, and he gets a nice shot in config. And he instantly turned the round from a 4 versus 5 into a 2-on-4 with 1 smoke and 1 flashbang. You know, just excellent timing and beating that Molotov. So again, this is how the Brazilian teams operate, and even teams like Gambit, like you just saw. Their goal is to beat that counter utility, and their entry fraggers know that, you know, they might get separated away from their teams because of that Molotov, but they're set up to have at very least, you know, a 50-50 fight with someone in the open, or, you know, no one's going to fight them and their teammates are going to be right behind them and the site's probably going to be theirs anyway, you know, or they die and they have all the info. So it's a very successful way to enter bomb sites, and we're going to see it again now from SK on Mirage, where Phelps enters the A bomb site. So let's switch over to Mirage now. Okay, so this is actually a pretty unique A execute that SK does this round. This is very different than their typical A executes they've done in the past, but the goal of the entry fragger remained the same across both executes. So you guys can look in their past if you want to check my facts on this, but I can promise you when they do A executes, in the past it was like Fur, Taco, hard clearing under balcony. They kept that in this new execute. So it's definitely a goal. You know, crosshair placement is very important, and hard clearing under balcony for the entry fragger is the primary goal. So we can see Phelps basically chilling. He's going to end up going out of a ramp. We'll speed it up a little. They have this really nifty Molotov right here for triple, or some guy that actually runs through the bench. So goes with the flash, hard clearing under balcony. Notice it doesn't matter if he's blind. It doesn't matter. He's the entry fragger, and his goal is to create space. If he dies blind, he knows that there's teammates behind him to trade the kill. If the guy, you know, takes 3 bullets to kill him, because it's going to be a struggle. If a guy's under balcony, he's running out that Molotov, he's going to have to probably run out, 3 bullet kill Phelps immediately, and then spray transfer to someone else. Very unlikely that he's going to get that double kill. If a guy's default, he has to time a peek through all of those flashbangs to kill Phelps. So you can see how Phelps is using all of the utility that's thrown around him, like all these flashbangs, to hard clear under balc, whip around, and then basically get to safety at firebox immediately. And then his goal is to smoke top connector, which is pretty cool. So we'll watch it again in overview and kind of show you guys, you know, one more time. So smoke's thrown, and the reason why SK actually, it's okay to wait on a strat like this is because, I mean, max, you know, 2 people are going to be in the A bomb site unless the third guy just runs through the smokes immediately. And by waiting a second, they didn't used to wait like this, by the way. They used to go with the smokes and hard clear under balcony. But by waiting, it allows you to keep a little bit of space with the entry fragger, because what could happen, and what usually does happen when you do an execute with an explosive entry fragger, is they'll get past a molly in this zone, but everyone else will just end up like sitting behind it. So they might have, you know, recognized that, and instead they opted to do this a little bit slower execute, but you can see how the entry fragger is still explosive in it. So let's see. I do think it was a mistake that they double molly triple, by the way. I think they were supposed to molly right next to it at bench, but it doesn't really affect the round. So you can see Phelps just running super hard to clear under balc, and team space pretty much behind him. If a guy were to jump on ticket, like he did, the guys behind him would contact first, or he would shoot at Phelps, and they would just instantly kill him. So you can see Phelps is pretty much protected from everything, other than a guy default, like I said. So if a guy is default or top balc, maybe he kills Phelps, but it's going to be very hard for him to walk out of that situation with an extra kill and an execute like this versus SK. So So yeah, let's now switch over to Cobble, and we'll see how they do something similar on Cobble when they played C9, actually. They do a B exec on Cobble, and Fur is the entry fragger on this execute. So let's hop over there. Okay, so here we go. They're pretty much going to go straight into a B exec right now, and we're going to watch Fur seemingly make a crazy play, you know, but this is his pathway, you know, this is the pathway that's safest for him to actually succeed given the utility that is thrown. So again, lining up all the smokes, the nade and stuff, and we're going to actually just look at this one in free look, just how we can see the spacing. So you can see he starts in the back, and this is another thing that's pretty important for entry fraggers, is it's often best to have them use their utility first. Because why would you have someone make this kind of play with a smoke, molly, flash, nade? You know, you typically don't. And in a lot of these executes, you'll see that the entry fraggers often have used all of their utility early round. So you can see Fur isn't the guy that's going out to the box. You know, he's the guy that's going out to the box isn't actually the entry fragger. Fur is the entry fragger. So he throws all of his nades, throws that flash, and you can see his timing with that flash over the wall. It might have been slightly off, and that's how he's full blind right now, but it was very, very close. It was, I'm not sure if that was a CT flash off the box that blinded him, or this teammate's flash that he just didn't time properly, but he has that timing down, you know, almost to the millisecond. So he goes out to the wall, and this wall is the safe zone. You know, once you're at this wall, someone can't shoot you from the fountain. So given the smokes thrown by his team, he can stay here, you know, for like a split second to figure out what's going on. He's also hard clearing this corner that he's looking at right now. So the little cubby corner. So his goal is first to clear that cubby corner once he jumps out there, because I mean, if he went straight to the statue without clearing that corner, that guy would just get unblind and kill him. And he knows that. So while that guy's blind, his goal is to clear that really quickly. Okay? So the second that's done, notice his pathway. He goes around the statue smokes. So his teammate, he knows his teammate has a wider angle at the statue. So the guy that goes out to the box is peeking the left side of the statue. So basically he can't die because the statue smokes cover the left peak of the statue. So by going to the left side of the smokes, on my perspective, his right, he's safe from that opper, and he knows that. So his pathway is now through the smokes, and he basically jumps around the smokes, ends up in Automatic's face, and kills him. Okay, guys, so now we're gonna watch and see, you know, the negative side of being an entry fragger. Why pretty much no one in North America wants to do this role, and we have my man Dupree here, who dies in some pretty lame ways this match. Really can't do anything about it. So Ashalis is basically going directly into a B exec on cash. So they smoke B main off. Gambit counter smokes. So Dupree can't really clear the box right now. They might have been able to use a molly for that spot or even double flash it. But like I said, a lot of the times these tactical teams, they want to be explosive. They don't want you to know that 2-3 guys are walking up B. They want this round to look like a default. So the entry fragger is not in a good spot. He's not. He has to not clear this box, basically, and be running with a smoke and probably another flash from a teammate after he underhands this flash. He's going to die before that flash ever even comes, though. So you see, Doge just playing anti-flash by the box, and he just dies. Obviously, instantly traded, which is kind of what I was going at. You know, like, your entry fragger is way ahead of everyone, but he's ahead of everyone in such a way where the guys behind him will be able to trade. You can see there's no way Doge is multi-killing those 3 players. It's just not happening based on their spacing. But you can see now they kind of like don't know what to do now that their entry fragger is dead. They get a little stagnant, and by the time they actually enter the site, the full rotates here, and they're pretty much fighting everyone at this point. So, but anyway, the whole point was just to show that it isn't just, you know, peaches and cream for Dupree. But let's see one more round, and then we'll go ahead and call it. Okay, so here again, later on in that same demo, Ashalis is going to get mid control and fall into a late mid B. Dupree going up to B main, typically spread it out on a default as the B lurker. So he's going to be the guy that works up from B main first. He had already used his molly early round. He's going to get in the corner, basically wait for these vent guys to make contact when they break the vent. But again, he's in a very vulnerable spot compared to everyone else. You know, this spot he's in is very dangerous for one guy to be there. Now, with that being said, you're going to see he's going to die, but it's going to get immediately traded. And this is how entry fraggers need to position themselves across the maps. So he's just going to be waiting. And you can see Doja actually waiting right below the vent himself. Pop flash comes. Doja actually delay peeks. Kills Dupree. Immediately that's the Q. Guys fly through the vent. Trade the kill. This is actually kind of a bizarre round, so I'll just continue playing it out. It would appear Ashal should definitely win this round. There's one guy in the B site, one guy rotating deep CT, and two guys in the A bomb site. They should definitely beat this rotation, just smoke it off and rush the guy's site. Unfortunately for them, the person in the site, Doja, makes a great play by hugging this side of the box. So as Glaive is running up headshot, he just unfortunately doesn't see him till like right here. Guy runs out heaven, kills him in the back, and the whole round just falls apart at that point. So anyway, that's beyond the point. Alright, I hope you guys understood, I guess, pathways for entry fraggers on executes. Main takeaways should probably just be explosive, use utility from your teammates, create separation, and yeah, just make sure you're tunnel visioning the right angles and your teammates know you are. Alright guys, that's it. Peace. Okay guys, so that's actually it for the video, but I am going to leave you with a couple instances where, it doesn't work out as planned, and show you why it kind of sucks sometimes to be an entry fragger, and why it's so difficult to find players in North America to do this kind of stuff. There's a lot of different ways to die, so we're going to watch Dupree actually kind of get killed in some lame ways now for a couple times, and we'll go ahead and cut it. So if you look on the minimap, Gambit counter smokes here, Astrala smokes here, Doja's playing the box right in between them.